Pushes, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Boom shakalaka!
Yes, g'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. The first NBA2K episode coming to you tonight, and it's going to be an absolute banger. Maybe the first of many, who knows? The show is brought to you by the Standard Squeeze and Ryan from Astute Newstead, and I am the brain, joined by the big horse, Mickey Dell, a much better 2K player than me. How are you, mate?
Hello, mate. That's very nice of you, but it's easy when you're 7'2" and everyone is 6'0" to grab an occasional rebound. So I'm happy to be here, but have a look at the royalty we got with us.
We do have a very special episode. Today's episode, it is a very special one. We have a special guest in the studio with us tonight, Mick, and fresh from what some would call a legacy series for Australia in the NBA2K League. We've got with us today NBL Oz Gaming and No Way Out point guard Harry. Welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Definitely not fresh off a legacy series because I sold in the finals. But other than that, I'm good.
No, obviously, mate, we're here to talk about everything that's been going on for you very recently. But to pick your brain about your experience over the last few months, and obviously the 2K League, which is we've got a lot of people aspiring to get to that level. So we're looking forward to hearing all about that experience and a little bit about yourself and what got you to that point as well. So, mate, tell us a little bit before we dive into 2K, before we talk about from a gaming perspective, did you have a in real life basketball history? Did you play ball yourself?
Played a little bit of ball. I think I started when I was about 7, but nothing too serious. And then when I was 11, they offered me to play rep, which was on Sundays, and it was the same day I played footy. So that's when I stopped playing, and I kind of chose footy and cricket over basketball. But I played a little bit, but nothing too crazy, nothing serious.
It's a shame they didn't bring out any NRL games on PlayStation or anything. You never know. Might have made your way that way. But NBA 2K seemed to be the game of choice. And, let's dive into that. What 2K did you start on? How far back was it when you started playing 2K? My first game was on Nintendo 64, which is an NBA game, NBA Jam. And then 2K-wise, I started 2K10, but it was when 2K12 was out, and it was my friend's game, and I was at his house for his birthday or something, and I played it, and then I stole it off him and never gave it back. And then I bought every 2K after that. So 2K10 was my first game, and then 2K12, and then I went back to 2K11, and every 2K since I played.
NBA Jam for the old heads. How good is this?
Yep.
Bit of a boom shakalaka at the start of the episode as well. Very fitting for the episode.
I like that. I heard that.
Were you a bit of a natural when you started, or was it like you're really clunky on the sticks? Or, tell us about it. Like 2K12, 2K10, right stick dribbling probably wasn't around back then. So, what can you remember about that?
Can't remember too much about those games. All I know is every time I made a new player when the new game came out, I just put dunk up straight away and tried to dunk on everyone. So there wasn't much skill going on. I was just trying to dunk on people and throw alley-oops and stuff. So I didn't start taking it seriously till later on when online was big.
Yeah. So for those of you listening at home, rim running does get you somewhere.
It doesn't get me anywhere.
No.
Bloody get blocked by the center every time I try to rim run. So,
yeah.
Were you always a point guard? Did you always make point guard builds? The majority, especially lately, the last few games.
Yeah, pretty much. Even when I wasn't a point guard, I'd make a small forward to play point guard in my career earlier on. There was one year I had a point guard as well, but my first time I ever played a pro-am game, I was actually on a center, on a shooter, stretch big. So that's a fun fact.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah,
how'd you go with that?
0 from 5 and got kicked off the team.
So things went really well for you.
Yeah, tell us.
Good start.
Which team was that?
It was a team called DMA, and they wouldn't let me play point guard. They didn't believe in me, so they picked me up as a sub, and I was playing center or power forward shooting, and I just couldn't shoot. I missed every shot. It was bad.
How do you reckon DMA feel now when they watch this and they've seen you tearing it up in the 2K league? They're probably going to think we missed a trick with this Harry bloke.
No, I don't think they care too much. They're all right.
They're probably not playing anymore, to be fair, are they?
No, they're not.
I'd say. Yeah, sure, cool. YouTube, mate, is massive these days. You know, they've got so many content creators and so many people creating awesome 2K content. And I know you started putting some stuff up on your channel as well to help everybody out. I did watch a couple of your videos and I still am terrible. So maybe I'm unsavable. But, mate, who was your biggest influence from a content creator standpoint? Did you go to anybody specific?
I don't know if I have like a specific influence really. When I got into 2K, I used to watch like micro videos from like Chris Smooth, Nike Faller, like all the old people. Like I used to watch them play micro, and then it kind of got me excited to like finish school or whatever, and then go play micro and kind of like copy whatever they did and do some like goofy spin moves and dunks and stuff. But as for the new videos, a lot of people like make pro-am content and stuff like that, so I kind of just tried to take from them to like keep people entertained and try to teach them at the same time. So not really one inspiration, but a lot along the way, kind of thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, nice. I think for me, I'm terrible, but I used to watch a lot of Joe Knows and Bear the Beast when I was trying to learn how to dribble. He helped me a lot, but yeah, I confess I did watch a few of your videos and you did some pretty cool stuff. And unfortunately, I did get better though. I promise I got better after I watched your content. So you must be doing something right.
That's good. It's nice to hear.
That's it. Del, have you guys played against each other, by the way, in Pro-Am?
Yes,
I want to know how that ended. How many points did Harry win by?
Would you like me to talk about it, Harry, or would you like the honours?
I can't really remember, to be honest. So you
I
can
can
talk about it.
quite clearly.
Yeah, go ahead.
You smacked us. So it was a 2-game series, so best of 3, and it only went 2 games because the other team had a point guard called Harry. And I think the first game our lock did not too bad against you. I think you had 33 points and we got beaten by about 10 points. And then the last game we scored 45 as a team and you scored 53 yourself. So you absolutely wiped the floor with us. I was playing for a team called the Sanctuary, so a big shout out to Jimmy Cuso. I know he's an avid follower of our show and frequently checks in with us. But yeah, you were just sensational, mate. And the word from someone only relatively new on the scene, the last couple of years, been playing a bit of Pro-Am, but it always Harry this, Harry that. Like you're an idol in so many people's eyes. I know you downplay that, but you're at the top of the mountain when it comes to Australian basketball, which, you know, it gives us fantastic pleasure, I guess. And to be able to give this episode and this version of you to the viewers, to the people that play 2K, to see the person behind the sticks as well, to see that it's not someone that's going out and, you know, ragging on other people to make themselves look bigger than what they are. You're quite a humble person and you're always willing to help people out. So this is something that we want people to see, in that you don't need to be an arse or you don't need to be throwing slander online to be a good player and to be well liked in the community.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sorry about the 53 points, by the way. I didn't remember that.
Your apologies accepted.
A bit more than that, so that's on me. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really see myself in that way at all, and I'm kind of a little bit new to Pro-Am still. Like, I still see myself like that because a lot of people have been here way longer than me, so I don't really put myself up on that mantle. But it's good to hear, I guess. And now that I've made the 2K league and done a little bit of what I've done, then it's a good achievement, but there's still more to do for myself.
And that's, you've got an awesome stage and an awesome platform now to influence other people. You can be the guy now that, you know, influences the next generation of 2K kids that are coming through, that are 14 or 15, that have just been exposed to the game, that are going to be watching Harry videos, and they're going to be watching replays of the ANZPL, and they're going to be watching what you did in the 2K league, and they're going to aspire to be you. So it's a really cool platform that you have at the moment, and you're on the right track to heading in the right direction with it, which is really cool, mate. Before we talk to you a little bit more about the 2K league and dive into that side of things, we'll give a shout out to our sponsors, Astute Newstead. Guys, if you've ever wondered what the best bank is, or looking at the current rates, are they too high? Is my dream home affordable? Then don't worry anymore. Talk to our good friend Ryan at Astute Newstead, who can give you confidential lending assistance with no obligations attached. You don't need to get pigeonholed to one lender. Ryan specializes in residential home loans with over 50 lenders on panel, including the major banks. And the best part, he doesn't charge a fee like other brokers. So Astute Newstead also offer personal vehicle and business loans. So reach out to Ryan at Astute Newstead on 0431 766 784 or email ryanh@eganwealth.com and use the code INSIGHT to let him know we sent you. Info is in the description. Now, Harry, this has obviously turned into something pretty cool for you. And I'm sure that if we asked you a couple of years ago, you would have thought this was maybe a dream. But, it's reality now, and it's more than just a game for you now. When was the first time that it actually sunk in and that you realized that this could turn into something pretty big for you?
Honestly, about 7 months ago, and I left about 6 months ago. So I'd say about when they announced the NBL team, the expansion team, that's when I kind of thought there's a chance here. But I still didn't think it would be me that would go. But I definitely had a chance for the first time. And then I just went to play the Invitational. Things happened, and I accidentally ended up in the United States. So
Accidentally.
Apologizes for dropping a 50 piece on the big horse and then accidentally makes it into the 2K league. We've got a keeper on our hands here.
What a man. So you were speaking about going down and playing in the Invitational, which is where you got drafted from, I assume. Whereabouts was this Invitational? Talk us through where that was. Were you in a big hall with a heap of other gamers, or how did that come about?
So the Invitational was run by the NBL Oz Gaming. It was at Melbourne, Fortress Melbourne, so it's a big gaming, I don't even know what to call it, gaming. There's multiple levels. People go there on the weekends to drink, do whatever, but our level was just dedicated to gaming, and there's a stage, and you can play in front of a crowd and stuff. So it's kind of everyone's first experience in that, and it's kind of a warm-up to the 2K League because they play on stage in front of people and whatnot. So that was a cool experience, and then I got to meet all my team for the first time, and everyone kind of met each other. So that was a really cool event, and not much else to say. We didn't lose a game all day, and it was fun.
How'd you go on stage for the first time? It's a bit different playing in front of people.
It was different, but there wasn't that many people there, and we kind of knew it. We hadn't met everyone, but we knew everyone that was there, so it wasn't anything crazy. It was streamed to the NBL Twitch though, in front of 400, 500 people, so that was a bit more nerve-wracking than the actual people in the room. But just had to pretend like it was any other game.
Can you remember the four that you were playing with that day?
Of course I can. I play with the same four all the time. It was me, Delay, Mona, Eugene, and Chris.
Shout out to those boys.
Absolutely.
Let's move 2K League. Talk to us about being drafted in the 2K League. How did you find out? How was that whole draft process?
It's a bit funny, actually. So I had my interview with them, as a couple other people did. And then I was really tired. My sleep schedule was just scuffed. And after my interview, it was 2 p.m., I think. I fell asleep straight away. As soon as the interview ended, I fell asleep. And they messaged me half an hour after my interview, hey, we've got to ask you a question, come back. And they were setting that up to tell me I had been drafted. I got the job. They were going to tell me half an hour later, but I fell asleep. And I woke up at about 10 p.m. and said, sorry, mate, can you do tomorrow? I fell asleep. And so I had to wait till the next day. Woke up at 5 a.m. or something for the American time. I came in this room. I was half asleep like this. And they said, you've been drafted. How do you feel? And I just didn't know what to say. I was half asleep.
Tired?
Open my eyes. Yeah, fresh out of bed. Didn't even have a shower. They were recording me. And I didn't even know what to say. I was stunned. I just had to say, yeah, feels great. Great feeling. Looking like an idiot.
Still, how long did it take to sink in?
It didn't really sink until I left, to be honest, because I got drafted so many months before the season actually started. It was 4 or 5 months from when I got drafted till I landed. So for that whole gap, I was still playing NZPL and Tans in Australia, so it didn't really sink in for me. I was kind of just chilling here, doing whatever. Almost forgot about it, and then one day it happened so fast. Got my passport, they got the flights, and I was there in 2 days.
Actually, I still remember that because you got your passport the day after you played us, and then you were gone the next week. So, yeah, if only it hadn't happened a week earlier.
Don't blame me for that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you played him into form, Mick.
Well, if that's what you're saying, then you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's what we
Wouldn't have been there without Sanctuary.
Yes, sir. So, okay, you get drafted, you fly to the States. What now? Do you know anyone there? Do they set everything up for you? What's it like? Have they got houses there for you? Is there a schedule that they've set up for you? Talk us through that.
Yeah, they provide the housing. The coach sets up. The coach does the scheduling, but it's nothing crazy. Like you have to do this, you have to do this. It's just like scrim blocks, so there'll be 2-hour blocks. So say it's a Monday and we just finished, and it's about 5 after, and we're all home. He'll send in the next day's schedule, like 11 to 1, us versing this team. Then 2 to 3, we're versing this team, and you don't play like a best or whatever. You just play them till the block's done. And then it'll be like that. There's normally 3 blocks a day, so that's how the schedule works. And then most other things, it's nothing crazy. It's just basically living on your own. And no, I didn't know anyone, but I made some good friends over there. I had a room with DJ, Too Cold, who was a clown and very funny. So that was fun. That was a good time.
It comes across as pretty funny on the socials.
Mate, tell me if I'm right here. First non-North American player to be selected in a 5v5 final series. Is that correct?
I think I'm the first North American to make playoffs in general.
That's incredible. How good is that?
That's insane.
That is cool.
Feels
And this
good.
2K League experience you just spoke about must have been surreal. Like when you think about it, like talk to us through like your first few games playing for NBL Oz Gaming. How did your first few games go? Did it take a while to get a feel for your teammates and the guys that you were playing with, or was there so many scrim blocks before the tournament started that you guys were just on clockwork by then?
Bit of both. Like, cause threes was first, and I didn't play. We didn't really scrim 5v5 that much. They kind of wanted to focus on threes, so we played a couple blocks a week, maybe at fives. So we didn't play too much. But the 2-3 weeks before the season started, we were going hard, like just dedicating every bit of our time to 5v5. So we got a bit of a connection there as a team, and then when the game started, I don't know, it was kind of like a build-up because I wasn't playing threes, and then they started posting about my debut, and everyone was talking, and it was like, hope I play good here because this would be embarrassing if I have a shit one. But and once I got my first 2 points, then I was just rolling. I don't know, I just treated it like any other game, and I was fine.
So yeah, we'll roll on from that. To be the point guard in a team that had no expectations, to runners up in your first full season is pretty awesome. How do you top that next season?
You don't.
What was the feeling
Not many
like?
people win a championship. Not many people win a championship. I don't think I'm going to win one next season if I go back, so probably not going to top it. But it's a great feeling. I don't really know exactly what I did, like historically, but they keep posting stuff, and I try to ignore it because I don't like talking about myself. But I mean, it just feels great. It's a good accomplishment to come from no one from here really being able to even make it in the league or get a look, and feels like you're just wasting your time playing a game for so many hours into turning it into a job, and then making the playoffs and then making the final. It's a pretty big deal, I must say. And I like to keep things pretty low key, but it's good. Feels good.
Yeah, pretty humble guy, I think, from what I've seen and from what you've achieved, man. It's it's pretty cool. You downplayed a lot of what you've achieved over there, but it's a good trait. You know, you're not coming out here and rubbing it in people's faces, and you're not talking about yourself all over social media. So I think that's preferred. But mate, I know you don't like talking about yourself, but I don't know whether you like looking at yourself, because we put a highlights package together of Harry over in 5v5. It goes for about a minute. We're going to show our viewers how much you cooked everybody else over there. So enjoy.
NBL Oz Gaming fighting for their finals lives here. Gotta win this one to keep it going as Harry from the left corner.
Speaking of that defense, they stacked in the chat saying NBL Oz Gaming playing immaculate.
A 21 series that they played to where we're like, this is gonna be a problem with him on stage this year.
I feel like all he had to do was knock his rust off that screen.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Bloody easy game, isn't it? Looks an easy game from those highlights. I tell you what, there was two there that I'm like, whoa, that's real nice. There was one of them where I think you were working across the left hash, and then you come across in quick stop between the center who was hedging and the lock, and just shot three straight through the middle of him. That was real nice. And then the second last one, I think, where you crabbed him and he overran you. Like, some of that kind of stuff is, as somebody who makes a point guard every year and doesn't really, get any better, it's nice to see that kind of stuff as a 2K fan.
I don't even know what to say to that, but I had a little smile on my face watching those clips. That one shot where I shot in the middle of them, I didn't even mean to get that load up. I don't know how that went in. That was like 27%. That was actually a terrible shot.
It was a 21. It was a 21.
I don't know how I made that. That's bad. That's actually bad gameplay, but I'll take it.
Nah, it's green.
Yeah, the commentators were frothing over it, so you can take those ones. Just pretend. Yeah, I knew what I was doing. I meant that. That's all good. Harry, you played in a couple of different formats. You played in the 3v3 and you also played in the 5v5, obviously. How do you adjust your game? So, do you play any differently in 3v3 as opposed to 5v5?
Well, I only scrimmed 3v3. I didn't actually play a game because they wanted to throw me in for one game just to see, and I didn't really want to do that because our team was playing well. But I scrimmed a couple times, and I'm not really a threes player, to be honest. Like, I just never really played threes. Threes isn't big in our server. I'm more of like I don't know, there's a lot of court and I just don't know what to do with it. Like, I feel like I'm just running around like a headless chook. I don't know what's going on. I prefer fives, so I didn't really have to make an adjustment because I didn't play much threes. With
your teammates, Harry, were they Xbox or were they all PlayStation as well? Or was it cross-play there?
It's everything in the league is run through PlayStation, but I know a few of them play both, and I think Jerry Sequan plays just Xbox, I'm pretty sure. But everything in the league is PlayStation 5 only.
How do you think this will impact on the league moving forward with the first year of crossplay coming into it?
I'm not sure how much that'll impact the league because people from Xbox and PlayStation make it. I'm assuming the league's still going to play on PlayStation 5 only because it wouldn't make sense to have half the league playing on Xbox and half on PlayStation. So they'll just stick to the same console. So I'm not sure it makes too much of a difference because people from Xbox and PlayStation, as I said, make the league regardless. So
let's talk about the off season now. You get to chill out for a little bit. You don't have to travel. You said that you might be home forever. Let's hope that's not the case. But let's say, for instance, you're planning now to go back next year, and hopefully you do get drafted. What's the plan for the off season? Does preseason kick back in anytime soon, or do you get back into ANZPL when 2K24 comes out? What does the next couple of months look like?
Well, funnily enough, I'm playing in the NZPL right now. Didn't take a break,
Nice.
Just straight back into it. There's a free 2K on the line, so just might jump in there and take that. Next 2K, whenever the 2K comes out, I'll just jump straight in, how I usually do, like every other 2K. There's no real... Like, at the end of the day, it's a game, and I play it for fun. It's not like... It's my career when I'm over there, but when I'm home, I still do whatever I want, and I'm just going to do, like, what I do every other 2K, which is play the game. I already played enough hours for it to be my job anyway, sadly enough, so just the same thing as always.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Very quick shout out to our friends over at the Standard Squeeze. Good blokes over at the Standard Squeeze. I've got my 4-in-1 here. I've only got water in it tonight. Can't get on the piss because it is a Monday night, and some of us have to work tomorrow, unfortunately. But guys, head over to thestandardsqueeze.com. Use the code INSIGHT15 to get yourself 15% off at checkout as well. They've got some quality stuff over there, things that will help you drink responsibly and also conveniently. Harry, we're going to sort you out with a 4-in-1 as well, mate, as a thank you for coming on. Thanks for the Standard Squeeze. Keeps your drink nice and cold, or if you want a coffee in, it'll keep that nice and warm as well. So goes both ways. But thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze for sponsoring the show. Mate, what are your best tips? If we had to ask you for potentially like one tip that really helped you become better, or for anybody who's at a point where they do want to start taking it a little bit more seriously or playing a little bit more 2K, what do you reckon your best advice is for them?
It's a hard question because there's different best tips for different stages of like where people are at, because there are many different times where I had to learn something that's really important at different stages. So it really, like, are you talking about someone coming out of the rec trying to play Pro-Am, or someone who's already in Pro-Am that knows a bit and is like right at the start? It really depends.
So maybe let's break it down then if we can and you're happy to. If someone's just running around in the rec, They want to take the next step into the ANZPL. They want to get into a team. They want to get a little bit better. What's your best advice for those people?
All right. So for someone who's in the rec and wants to play organised Pro-Am, I don't know. I was never really in it. You just got to know people, I guess. That's how I got into it. Like, I wouldn't have even known that Pro-Am existed without knowing people that play in it. But now it's kind of growing a bit more, so people are going to become familiar on their own. So I guess the only thing I would say if you were in the rec trying to make it is just make sure your basic skill is there, like greening shots, like laning it when people throw it, just basic skill. And then whoever picks you up, whatever team you find, will teach you like the IQ things and things that you need to learn. That's like the next step.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just writing this stuff down. 1 second. No, good advice. And then obviously when you get to the next level and you're at that Pro-Am level and you're playing with the team regularly, it might be your second or third season, and you do want to take the next step again and kind of go in the direction that you've gone. What do you think your best advice is for those people?
Depends what position. So for a point guard, for me, the thing that helped me the most, funnily enough, is getting better on defense or learning defense, because there's a lot of rotations that the best teams will throw at you, and without knowing like what's actually happening on defense, how are you going to know how to beat it? So when I didn't know what was going on, people were moving everywhere, there was no way I was beating that. I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't see the passes. I was confused. But as soon as I learned the defense for myself, then I could like beat it on offense. It works both ways. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Are you running around again with no way out?
Yes.
For the rest of this 2K or early next 2K?
Both, yeah.
Both. They're in the finals, I believe, at the moment, aren't they?
We're in the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, good.
Are you trying to get some intel for next season for Sanctuary?
Yeah, I'll try my best. I think it might fall on deaf ears.
Accepting all offers.
I'll have to dig out the suitcase full of cash, I think. So we've spoken about Chris Stapps and Delay and Mona, these guys that you've played basketball with for a long time or 2K with for a long time. The other names of people in the league, I'm not necessarily saying the big horse or brain here, but who are other people that sort of spring to mind when you're looking at classy players in the ANZBL or the Oz service that could potentially, they're playing good Pro-Am type basketball that could take that next step?
What I always say, I get asked this question a bit just randomly in party chats or by people that want to know more about ANZ. And I normally it's too hard to explain everything, so I just narrow it down to our team and Ruthless. Them two teams. Yeah. I feel like our team and Ruthless have like just really good, solid every position, like 1 through 5, just good basketball. So that's the easiest way for me to answer that. And then I say like the 3rd, 4th best teams have great players as well, just maybe not every position. Our server's kind of limited compared to America because we have some really good like top players, but then it's kind of levels down a bit, whereas they have 20, 30 good teams. Like you can scrim all night, best of ones, different games, whereas our server's a lot smaller. So it's kind of a hard one to answer, and it's very opinionated. Like it's a very opinionated thing. People have different opinions.
Yeah, there's no actual ranking system. It's just
exactly.
Yeah, whichever person's picking their team. Yeah.
Who's your I might put you on the spot here a little bit. Who's your favorite player to play with? Pick me.
No. No, that's a very tough question because Chris has saved me many times where I've played bad and he's dropped like 30 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, saved me many times. But Delay also saved me many times when I can't do anything, and then he just give him the ball, sit there on my hash with my hands out, ready to catch it. So if I have to pick between one of them, I'll probably just give it to Chris because I played with him longer, but both of those two have saved me many times. So
it's a mark of a good team, just especially if someone's getting boxed, being able to give it to someone else and letting them run with it for a little bit. That's good.
And I guess that summarizes, you're talking your teams 1 through 5, your quality in every position. So you can afford to just get it out to, whatever the best option is, and they'll do the job for you. So what are your thoughts on the cross-play next year and how that'll impact the way the gameplay is? Have we heard much about the gameplay? Because I know that they've been pretty tight-lipped, haven't they, on 2K24? Do you have any inside intel on how that's going to play out?
No inside intel. I don't know anything about the game or gameplay, but I think crossplay is good because it'll grow the server even more, and that's what our server specifically needs. I don't know if it'll change. It won't change the American server that much because they're busy non-stop, both consoles. Like, it doesn't make a difference. But we need those little bit of extra teams to just make regular night matchups going and then grow NZPL even more. So I think that'll help. I'm not sure how many teams are on Xbox. If it was crossplay to the old consoles, that would be massive. Then we would have just heaps of people playing. But that's not happening, unfortunately. But it's still a good thing. Good news for the server.
Speaking of the good news for the server and crossplay, not a bad time to bring up that yours truly here at the Insight Fantasy Sports team are going to be the media outlet this next 2K that will be bringing you all good things from the ANZPL. So, yes, thank you, Harry. For the first time ever, there's going to be media coverage on the Pro-Am League here in Australia and New Zealand. So what we encourage all viewers, listeners to do is to subscribe, like. There'll be certain channels that you can link into, and each week we'll be bringing recaps, stats, highlights packages, and interviews of particular players throughout the league, and giving our players in our server exposure to the big wide world that is NBA2K, and trying to give our community a push to, like yourself, getting people to the elite level.
Very exciting times ahead, I think. But, mate, Harry, we've taken up enough of your time, mate. We really appreciate you hopping on with us and having a chat about 2K and giving, I guess, the punters out there and the guys that want to take their game to the next level a few tips on how they can do that. Mick, any final words, mate?
No, not at all. Just, I guess, on behalf of the Australian New Zealand community, like, we're proud of you. You've done us very, very proud to come from the ANZPL into the first NBL Oz Gaming team, where they gave us no chance, to coming runners-up in a worldwide tournament is a phenomenal effort. So congratulations on that. And we look forward to seeing you grow. And for us, we really want to see you back there and kicking ass again, mate. So thanks again for joining us, and good luck moving forward.
I appreciate it. It means a lot. I tried not to let everyone down. I did a little bit at the end, but it was a good season, and thanks for having me. It's been my pleasure. Maybe can get me back on the show again sometime.
Absolutely. We will definitely be getting you back on, mate. When you drop 50 odd on the big horse, we'll get you back on and we can talk all about it. We can do a play-by-play recap when you verse Sanctuary. How about that?
I think you sent me into retirement.
Thanks, Harry. We appreciate your time, mate.
No worries. Thank you.